I'm on a mission to buy an EV, so I thought it was time to go along and see a car dealer. So I'm off to talk to Mike Sheaff from GVI to get some tips and advice on buying a second-hand EV, with an in-depth look at buying the popular Nissan Leaf. I'm Adrian Maben, and this is EV Quest.
Hi there guys, I'm Mike Sheaff from GVI Car Sales here on Hewletts Road in Mount Maunganui.
Okay, so our talk today was sort of first-time buyers coming in, thinking about getting an EV. What questions are they asking the most?
Yeah, so obviously a lot of interest in EVs and hybrids at the moment. We'll just concentrate on the full EV at the moment. So that's of course a car with no engine, purely runs on electricity. A lot of interest obviously with fuel prices and the environmental aspect of owning an EV as opposed to a petrol car. So the most popular one we get asked about is our Nissan Leaf. It's by far the most affordable and reliable and available EV in the market today. So when people come in, they of course the number one, well, there's two main issues with electric vehicles. One is the range, so literally how far the car will go between having to charge up, and then two, the battery, the life of the battery, how to look after the battery, things like that.
And what's there to sort of look out for if you're doing like checking a car out? What should you be looking for?
Yep, so if you are looking to purchase a Leaf, I mean, like any car, just have a walk around, check the overall condition, tyres and wear and tear and stuff like that, just like any car. Mechanically, very little things to check other than what you would do on a warrant of fitness. So, as long as the car comes with a warrant that's less than 28 days old, no dramas there. But the battery, you do need to ask for a health check on the battery. Any half decent reputable dealer will be able to provide that for you. Or there are software package like apps and stuff that you can get on your phone with the use of a little OBD reader. You can do it yourself as well. But you will need to get what's called a state of health report on the battery, and literally that gives a percentage out of 100 as to where the battery in the car, where it's sitting. Brand new, 100%, few years old, 70, 80, 90% somewhere. That does not directly correlate to the kilometers the car's traveled. Bit of a quirk with EVs is that, just because it's done low mileage does not necessarily mean the battery's in a better health. I mean, generally speaking, that's the way, but all batteries do deteriorate over time at different rates. The primary reason for that is how they've been treated. Number of charges, the type of recharging that's been done. It's not so much how much the car's been driven as to how the battery's been charged. So that's the number one thing to look out for with EVs. Yeah.
So is there like percentage I should be looking at, if like 80, 70 state of health, or just whatever?
It's totally up to you. Whatever's viable for your use. So essentially, what happens as a battery over time, you think of it like a big fuel drum. Over time, it's getting a bit crinkled in the middle, getting a bit smaller and a bit smaller. So your capacity is reducing. Doesn't affect the performance of the car in any way, apart from the fact that essentially your fuel tank's getting smaller. So when you fill up, over time, the distance you can go between charges reduces. So on a 30 kilowatt Leaf like the one here, when they're brand new, their range is around about 180 kilometers between charges. And then so if the battery was down to 80% compared to brand new, essentially you're taking 20% off that 180, 36 Ks, you're down to about 160 Ks.
What year is this one?
So the particular one is 2017, but when we jump in, we'll be able to see what the range is.
Yep.
We'll take it for a drive. All right, now of course the beauty with the first thing people notice about electric cars is that when you start them, there's no noise. So that little song lets you know the car has started. There's literally no noise. So what you can see down here, this little green car, that indicates the car is ready to rock, forward or backwards, obviously. And the other couple of things here. So right now our petrol tank is at 71% full. which is what you see here. And it's telling us we've got about 120 k's worth of driving.
How does the rebate work on a second-hand electric vehicle?
Yeah, so with the clean car scheme the government set up, yeah, essentially the driver behind that is all to do with carbon emissions. And you can imagine a scale where the top of the pile is the EVs because they have 0 carbon emissions, and then bigger engines, into your diesels and stuff at the bottom end of the scale, which obviously have a lot more emissions. And so there's literally a scale between 0 and high emissions, and the EVs qualify for the highest level of rebate, which on a second-hand electric vehicle is approximately $3,400.
Oh.
And then a lot of the hybrids can be anywhere from $700-800 to maybe $1,500 worth of rebate. And then once you start hitting your V6s and V8s and your big diesel utes, you actually have to pay often thousands of dollars to enjoy the privilege of driving one of those. Yeah. That only applies to the first time the vehicle's registered in New Zealand, though.
Oh, okay.
So if the vehicle's already registered, then it's not applicable. So yeah, the first time they hit the New Zealand market, so as a fresh import or a brand new car, will qualify for those rebates and rebates. So yeah. So the best thing about the EVs and particularly these Leafs, which they sort of sit in the price bracket of sort of 15 to maybe mid 20s for either a 24 or a 30 kilowatt Leaf. And in all honesty, they are brilliant commuter cars. One thing about them, and I can show you if we head down here. As you drive along here, you can see the little white dots on the screen light up as we accelerate. Okay, so we're drawing power there, and when we slow down, you can see the blue lights light up. Now that is recharging. It's actually putting a bit of recharge back into the battery. So around town, when you stop start like that, you're using power, but you're also recovering a bit of it. On the open road, completely the opposite. You're going to be flying along with 4 white dots drawing the battery life down. So yeah, you won't go as far on the open road as you will around town. Yeah. The first question I tend to ask people when they come and inquire about EVs, they say, how often do you travel more than 150 k's in a day? And if that's quite regularly, then it's either a very expensive EV or maybe it's not quite there for you, ready for you just yet.
Yeah.
But certainly as a second car, commuter car, just brilliant. I've sold cars to customers, and they have an EV in the driveway and a nice second car, and it's always a fight to who gets into the EV in the morning.
Yeah, it seems to be once you drive the EV, you're a convert.
Yeah, absolutely, and it does change in your drive style, because every kilometre you use of battery life, it tells you, and so you become very aware of economical ways of driving. And on that, all EVs have a couple of 2 or maybe 3 drive modes, like your standard or your sport mode, then an eco mode. There's a little button on here you can flick into eco, and you can see actually. Here you go with the eco on, and our range is saying 115 now. If we turn the eco button off here, you see it disappear there. We lose a few k's worth of range. Now, the reason you do that is because they're far more fun to drive out of eco mode. You get that instant acceleration, the instant torque, but the price you pay is it obviously uses a bit more battery to get in there. Yeah, so the best thing to do is come down and talk to a local EV specialist, and they'll give you some honest advice as to which would be the right one for you. But
and your website is
simple. It's www.gvi.kiwi. So very easy. Yeah, but come and have a chat to us. We do keep one here as a test drive vehicle, and yeah, we have one of the biggest ranges between here and Auckland. You know, we can choose your colour, you know, choose the right battery that's right for you.
What about supply issues at the moment?
Yeah, so there's no problem getting the vehicles here. The only problem we have is that we are sold out. Yeah. And in fact, you know, before the vehicles even arrive, while they're still on the boat, sorry, coming from Japan, we are selling them off the boat at the moment. Yeah. But we do have one you can, and the beauty with particularly the Nissan Leaf is that you can drive this. They all drive the same, so it's really just a few little you know, bells and whistles or colours that would make the difference in the battery, obviously. So yeah, but the key thing is the more you spend, the more you'll go between charging. Now I mentioned earlier about the battery check. Here's an example of what's called a Leaf Spy report. The key things you're looking for here are the state of health, here SOH. So you can see this one's at 82%, so good, yeah, really good battery in this car. And the other thing you look for is here quick charges and L1, L2s, which are low rate charges. So 130 worth of quick charging and 500 odd of low and slow charges. So that's again perfectly normal. Nothing to raise any alarm bells here. So this is just a good example of what's called a Leaf Spy, and you would want this before buying a Nissan Leaf to check these figures here.
Great. A big thanks to Mike for sharing his knowledge of EVs, especially in relation to the Nissan Leaf. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover in a future video, let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and check out another one of my videos here.